Maybe in 15 years, 20 years, maybe my number is up there next to Kareem.
The long wait has ended after a half-century. The Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions once again.
It takes more than skills to be great. That's what people don't understand. You can be the most skillful person on earth, still don't make the NBA. The NBA is not about skills. When you think about LeBron, you think about consistency. He's been great for 20 years. Think about MJ, Edge, about getting better, obsession. Kobe, obsession. Steph. Man, it's not just skills. The thing that makes me a step further than people is the obsession and the discipline I have towards the game.
Welcome back to NBA Today. I think obsession is a fair way to describe Giannis Antetokounmpo and his relationship, the way that he looks at winning. In nearly 2.5 years after signing a 5-year, $228 million Supermax extension, Giannis is going to be eligible to tack on an additional 2 or 3 years that starts September 22nd. But this is where Bucks fans start to hold their breath a little bit. In a recent interview with the New York Times, the two-time MVP, he casted a little bit of doubt on whether or not he would commit to the franchise long-term. Here's exactly what he said. He said, quote, "There will never be hard feelings with the Milwaukee Bucks. The real question's not going to be this year. Numbers-wise, it doesn't even make sense," which is true, by the way. But next year, it would make more sense for both parties. And even then, I don't know. I don't want to be 20 years on the same team and don't win another championship. So, Zach, before the panic button fully gets hit in Milwaukee, what is your takeaway from these comments?
For all the melodrama with the James Harden situation and the Dame situation, that right there was the most important thing that happened in the NBA this summer, because that dude is one of the tiniest handful of players who in any given season could be the best player in the NBA. That's how important this is. And he has announced to the world, I might not stick around for the duration of my contract or next contract. His current contract, he can end it after next season. That should set off alarm bells everywhere. And as far as pressure on the Bucks, they did everything they could do. They traded a lot of picks for Drew Holiday. They re-signed Brook Lopez. They re-signed Chris Middleton. They are all in. They've already won a title. But this kind of stuff, when something like this is hovering over a team and has been said out loud like this, it always makes me nervous, because this is a team coming off a horrible playoff performance. And yeah, Giannis got hurt in the first game, and that may have swung the series. They still did not play very well. They have a brand new coach, and just when you have something like this hovering, it creates a very pressurized situation. Every 3-game losing streak becomes Armageddon. Every slump becomes a big deal. It just makes me a little nervous going into this season, because there is an enormous amount of pressure on everybody on that team now that Giannis has come out and said the quiet part out loud.
And that's it. It's the quiet part out loud, because we all know, right? Giannis is maniacal, is surgical, right? And when it comes to winning, you and I were both in Milwaukee the last time these discussions were boiling up, when Giannis was trying to decide whether or not he was going to stay in Milwaukee long term, and ultimately a supermax was reached. Do you see any similarities between this time and last?
Malika, I think Giannis is doing his due diligence as a superstar. He's got to hold the Milwaukee Bucks accountable. The last time before he signed this Supermax extension, I sat down with him, and he basically said, look, why not play for the same team and same organization for 20 years, 25? Maybe after I'm playing, I'm on the staff somehow. He pointed out and said, Steph, Dirk, Duncan, and Kobe, why not me? Why not be with the same team for that long? But he said, he made it very clear, everybody has to be on the same page about winning a championship. As long as everybody's together, pulling in the same direction to win a championship, why not stay for 20 years? So I think this is Giannis having to hold the organization accountable. I agree with Zach. The Bucks have done everything they can, but the Bucks are going to have to keep doing everything they can to make sure that he has that cast around to win a championship.
So this is what we're showing you now, is losing to the Miami Heat earlier in the playoffs. But knowing Giannis a bit, covering him for several years, Perk, family, first and foremost, is what matters to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Loyalty, in many ways, to his family, to the people in his circle, to now the Milwaukee Bucks. He's talked about how the Milwaukee Bucks have allowed him and his family to get into a completely different position. And then winning. Those are the three pillars, as it would be, of Giannis Antetokounmpo. So how much pressure do you think is on the Bucks front office? Because, as Ohm just said, it's about pulling in the same direction toward that ultimate goal of winning again. Yes, he wants to be loyal. He wants to so badly, but not at the cost of not winning another championship.
One, every person in the front office for the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be walking around like they have plantar fasciitis, okay? That's how they're going to be walking around. The number two point, Giannis is not a superstar. He's not an all-star. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a mega star. Giannis Antetokounmpo moves the needle. Giannis Antetokounmpo is powerful. I was down there 2 years ago when he, 2 years ago when he won the NBA championship. And you know the thing about Giannis that he did when I watched and I walked into that new arena? I saw buildings being put up. I saw restaurants being built. I saw structure. I saw a whole lot of things being built, and that was solely based because of Giannis Antetokounmpo bringing life not only to the Milwaukee Bucks, but to the city of Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. And it quickly took me back to when I played with Braun in Cleveland. How many restaurants and how the city was alive and how many people had jobs. And when Braun left, you know, how the economy went down. Basically, you know, in Cleveland, it's going to be the same effect. So not only should the front office should be nervous, the fan base should be nervous, and everybody in the city of Milwaukee should be nervous and hope that not only the team rise to the occasion to help win another championship this year, because that heals all wounds, but the front office do their part throughout the course of the season and see what's out there, because they might have to make a move at the trade deadline to secure and make Giannis Antetokounmpo happy.
There's something interesting in all of this, Perk. It's that word, the dun 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 dun, under pressure. Which team do you think is? We couldn't get through a whole show with that. We couldn't. It's fine. Which team do you think is under more pressure to get this resolved before training camp starts? Who needs to turn that one up?
Well, one is Philadelphia. I mean, because the risk of possibly, you know, losing Joel Embiid, maybe him asking out because of everything that's been going on, not with just the James Harden situation, but in the past. But here's the thing, Malika, Ohm, and Zach. James Harden don't have a pot to pee in and a window to throw it out of in this fight. And when I say that, it's because his career is on the line right now. This is not the James Harden of Houston. Right now, Philly is in control. And if James Harden, wants his career to keep going, he has to show up and do his job with the right mindset. Two, if he wants to get paid, he has to show up and do his job with the right mindset. With everything going on for us, the new CBA and the fines he could get, along with them, I think Bobby Marks talked about this 3 weeks ago. Basically, he could not become a restricted free agent like Philly could do that as well.
Correct.
James Harden has no leverage in this, so he has to show up to work.
Nikola Jokic, you mentioned him, best basketball player in the world at the moment. Incredible guy. Just, you know, everyone is so amazed with his skills and with his talent and what he does on a basketball court. You know, I'm not a basketball expert, so I can't really talk about his game so much, but I'm a huge fan. Obviously, a Serbian basketball player coming from Serbia and, you know, dominating the NBA is something that, you know, doesn't happen very often. I think it never happened in the history of our basketball in Serbia that we had the best basketball player in the NBA. So that's amazing, and we all love him, support him.
So that was tennis superstar Novak Djokovic talking about and showing major love for two-time MVP Nikola Jokic. He said that he's not necessarily a basketball expert. So, Perk, I'm going to start with you, our expert here. Right now, who do you think is the best player in the world?
You got to go with Jokic. Although I want to say Giannis Antetokounmpo, but you have to go with Jokic. What he did winning the Finals MVP and how he dominated through the postseason when it mattered the most, I mean, no one could deny it. I mean, at the end of the day, it made AD one of the best defensive players in our game in the post area have to, like, you know, second guess himself.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.